Well, hey, Stampin' friends. This is Leslie from LuvINK&Paper, and I hope you have a copy of this marvelous book, otherwise known as the annual catalog. Used to be called the idea book and catalog, for a lot of really good reasons. There's a lot of information in here. So if you look right early on here, on page 3, there's 6 techniques that they kind of give you a little heads up on and how to work those. And they tell you what page to look for it on, and all of that kind of stuff. So kind of check those out if you haven't already. All right. And then I'm going to flip over here to page 39 and show you today's tiles. Now, I don't happen to have this stamp set, but in the description down here, it says photopolymer stamps 2-step Hinge-step. So I'm going to talk to you today about Hinge-step stamping. So there's a little blurb here that talks about taking your stamping to the next level with the Stamparatus. Okay, that is our stamp positioning tool. And you do Hinge-step stamping by moving the plate down 1 or 2 hinges, depending on the size of your image, and it allows you to build patterns and scenes and that kind of stuff, create borders. So Hinge-step is really cool. Now, the Stamparatus is the only stamp positioning tool that allows you to do that. Okay, there's a lot of other stamp positioning tools out there on the market. There's one out there that you have 3 different sizes. So one for card making, one for a little bit bigger, and then there's like a 12 by 12 for bigger designs. Stampin' Up! Decided to just have open sides so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, there's another one where it's the thicknesses of the plate from one side to the other is a little bit different, so that you can stamp with the clear photopolymers as well as the thicker red rubber cushion stamps. Okay, we can do either on either side, and there's this foam mat in here that you use when you use photopolymer, and you don't need it when you use the red rubber. Okay, so I've got a tree from the Perfectly Plaid. I thought we'd try this. Now you're going to see we're going to have to stamp this one upside down because I want the tree to go across the bottom of the page, but it's hard to get it way down. I mean, I could probably have made it go there. But this way it's right along the hinge and it'll be easier to show you. So I've set it up for the first one so that it's going to stamp down here in this corner, and then I'll show you about Hinge-step stamping and what that means. I'm just going to open my shaded spruce and ink up that tree, and sometimes in the corner here it gives a little, hope I'm not wiggling you guys too much. Okay, so now I lift the plate all the way up and out, and I checked earlier, they're gonna touch just like that. It's gonna be perfect. Okay, some of the stamps are a little wider and you actually need to skip 2 hinges, but this one is a one hinge jump. Okay, so we will press that one down. Okay, so we're getting a nice little row of trees back there. Okay, so, And it's best if you keep it in a specific order. So I move the plate and ink it up, stamp it down, lift it up, move it down one hinge, ink it back up. Okay, it just helps a lot if you are doing it in the same order. Okay, like that. Okay. So now you have a row of evergreen trees. Now I can go back, move the stamp, and stamp like in between, and do some stamped off ones and get a forest if I want. Okay, I'm not gonna take the time to do that right this minute, but just so you know that that's an option. Okay, so it gives you a great way to get images in a line. Okay, so we'll take that tree off. It used to be that you could order extra plates, and I think I did that because I think I've got, well, I have 2 Stamparatuses. I love them that much. But I also think I ordered a couple of extra plates because they are pretty great. All right, so, and you do have to really pay attention to those magnets. You don't want them anywhere close to each other, or you can be in big trouble. All right, so there's that, and we'll have to make that into a, so I'm going to put one way over there, I'm going to put one way over here, and I'm going to take this mat out this time because, oh, and I probably don't even need this plate right now, because we're going to start with a little bit different one. I do just need to grab one of those pieces of, I brought a bunch of quarter sheets just to show you. Now often I have built myself, where is it? Here it is. So out of some chipboard or something that came with my came in the designer series paper or something, I sometimes will put this in there, and then I will fit the paper in the corner. That's not how I figured this particular stamp. So let's see, where did I have that? I'm betting I had it, yep, in this corner over here. Yeah. See, so I used this corner up here, right here, to put my cardstock when I positioned that stamp on the plate. So I'm just going to put one there, put one way down here in this corner. Now I'll have to move this eventually, but at any rate. So this is this fun little background piece for the Ornate Style stamp set. And I'm just going to do a background in a light color. Sometimes it helps to, oop, that's too tall. Here, we'll throw my Memento black over here. There. Sometimes it helps to have something under there when you're, now our little Stampin' Spots that come in the paper pumpkin kits, there's also a selection of them in the ink section of the catalog. Those work really great for this because they ink only the, you know, they don't take up so much room. they work really well for the Stamparatus. All right, so I'll just stamp that down there. Now this is another one that I'm pretty sure is just one hinge, right? Yep. So we'll ink it up again. Like that. So we're going to have this really fun background. So you just keep moving it. So that's Hinge-step stamping. So if you haven't watched Sarah's video that I posted the link to, check that out. I did a whole class on the Stamparatus because there's so many great techniques that you can do with this positioning tool. Hinge-step stamping is only one of them. If you haven't checked out that video, please check it out, and then you can see some other things that Sarah did with the Hinge-step stamping. I think I'm not going to do that. I know, I was going to try and get brave and line that up, but I haven't cleaned the stamp, and I'd need to in order to do that. So we're going to call it good, just like that. So I could trim this down a little wee bit, and because I did this as a whole 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so I could trim it to 4 by 5 1/4, and then have something else over here. I could put my greeting here along with a focal point. So, you know, I guess I have to make that into a card too. So that's Hinge-step stamping. You could do, this is really fun to do with words. I didn't bring a stamp set over to the table that would work quite that way. Maybe. Hang on. Let's pop that foam mat back in. All right. Put the paper on top here. Keep everything. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, I could have had a really bad problem there. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so one more trick here. We'll just go down this side of the paper. Right. There. Now we'll take this thanks out of this one. Okay. Like this. Grab a hold of that. All right, then since I have the mint macaron out, we'll stamp it. Thanks. Then we'll move it down. And do thanks again. And move it down one more time. Actually, I'm going to move it 2. There's a reason. Don't worry. I'll go back to that other one. I want to stamp that one that's going to fit there in a different color. So we're going to skip that one, do this one. Move it down one more. Okay. So you're going to see where this is going. We've got our thanks a whole lot of times. Now we're going to come back up to, yep, that's where we want to be. I'm not even going to clean the stamp because I'm going to a darker color, so it's going to be okay. So we'll just put that there. And so now I have this one that stands out a little bit differently, but they're all in a nice, neat row. So that's another great feature of the Hinge-step stamping. Okay, so just know that this is a, if you don't have this stamp positioning tool yet, you probably want it. And maybe I will do the reverse, the reflection stamping with the silicone mat and the stamp positioner. Maybe I'll show you that pretty soon because that's another fabulous use of this. So for now, that's Hinge-step stamping. So go through the catalog and see if you can find in the description the stamp sets that have images that lend themselves well, and it will say Hinge stamping right in the description. Okay, hey, thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.